Guess what? If you're someone that struggles with speaking your truth, then it's likely that you have some abandonment wounds. Those abandonment wounds ain't from last week, last year. This is going all the way back to when you were a little kid. And I know this firsthand because I have had to go through and reprogram and heal my abandonment wounds. Fear of abandonment, a need to be accepted. One of the biggest issues is, are you somebody that self-sacrifices, self-abandons in order to perceptually keep other people happy? Which means you're willing to violate your own values, your own boundaries, your own self-worth in order to what? Kind of pretend like keep someone in your life, keep someone telling you sweet things, but leaving you feeling empty because you don't have the confidence and the courage and the authenticity to speak your truth. If you're new here, my name is Greg, and I started Results Kill Excuses coming throughout my 13-year healing journey, which started with hitting rock bottom, needing to get sober, asking for help, and healing in a way that I never thought was possible, but I knew that I needed to at least figure something out because I didn't trust myself, and I certainly was willing to self-abandon in order to keep someone else there. And at the end of the day, that never worked. It never worked because the energy that you put off when you self-abandon is needy energy, which is really unattractive. It pushes people away energetically because it's clingy, it's needy. And the way that you fix this is by going in, looking in the mirror, and discovering, who are you? Who is the true and authentic version of yourself? Who is the person that you can see yourself becoming? And a lot of us have a hard time envisioning when I help people become the highest version of themselves. A lot of y'all are just like, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know if I want to be the highest version of myself. What does that mean? Well, here's how you can do it from a method of subtraction. Who's the person that you don't want to be? If you were to write out an extensive list of all the things you don't want to be, you don't want to experience, you don't want to do anymore, things you want to eliminate from your life, habits, patterns, beliefs, ideas. When you write down the list of all the things that you want to stop, then guess what comes out? Then you can start to see clearly who the better version of yourself is, because the best version of yourself usually has been able to eliminate all the things that you know you don't want to have as a part of your life. And yet, by continuing to self-sabotage, self-medicate, self-abandon, I think that's what actually triggers addiction issues that much more, because what you're lacking is inner peace. What you're lacking is true self-respect for who you are, because you know that with these people you're willing to do this thing, with these people you're willing to be that person and say those things, and you kind of lose yourself in this process called life. You lose yourself in the everyday thing because you're a people pleaser. You're trying to keep everyone happy, and the result is no one's happy. Have you heard that saying? Those that try and keep everyone happy, keep no one happy, and especially yourself. And it's a scary thing because there's so much loneliness in this world right now. Are you someone that's struggling with feeling a sense of loneliness? And even when you're in the midst of a crowd or in the midst of like all kinds of friends, you're still feeling a sense of like something's missing. If that is the case, I'm here for you. That's why I'm putting this content out there, because I felt that way. I felt lonely being in crowds, being in church, being married for 21 years, being in the workplace. Underneath the surface was a man that was very lonely, very upset, and desiring something more, but not truly knowing where to start, and ultimately how to stop the vicious cycle of self-sabotage, self-destruction. And yet it took me hitting a rock bottom, a serious rock bottom, man, to wake me the fuck up. And not just for a season, not just for 1 year, but for me to truly, in my heart of hearts, say, I am going to change from now for the rest of my life. I am going to change. I'm done. I'm not pretending. I don't need temporary relief. I know what that feels like. These guys know what I'm talking about. My buddies, the Ravens, they're coming in. And yet, I know so many people out there that want it to happen now. But think about it. If you could imagine all of your problems going away, whatever you perceive as your biggest problems right now, for your biggest problems to go away, would that truly solve what's really going on in your life? Would that truly solve how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your past, does that take away your guilt, your shame, your loneliness? For most people, the answer is no. And I see it time and time and time again, right? I have very wealthy people that come to me for help. And yet, wait, you have an abundance of money, an overflow of money. Why aren't you happy? Well, because money doesn't solve the emotional wounds. I have a lot of people that are really in great shape, exceptional fitness, physique, the epitome of a sculpted body. And yet, why do they come to me? Because having a healthy body doesn't give you a healthy mind and a healthy emotional state of being. And a lot of time people can channel their anger and their frustration and their rage and their guilt and their shame towards putting it in to that as a coping mechanism. Just like making lots of money can be a coping mechanism, because something inside of you is broken that says, if I make a lot of money, I'm going to feel happier about myself. Well, yeah, you'll probably feel happier on the good days, but on the bad days, the money isn't going to fucking fix and fill that hole inside of you. Just like having the body, it's not going to heal the emotional wounds inside of you. Just like so many of us were looking for love. Are you looking for love? Are you searching for love? Did you find your love and now guess what? Your love left you, and it left you broken? But see, here's the thing. That's the problem with this whole idea. If you're someone that's searching for love, look no farther than in the mirror. This is where it all starts. If you want to improve the relationship with anything or anyone, that means with money, with health, with other people, you need to improve the relationship, the genuine, sincere relationship that you have with yourself. And that starts by becoming more self-aware. What kind of thoughts do you have? Are your thoughts negative? Are your thoughts positive, hopeful, optimistic? Or are your thoughts filled with despair, anger, guilt, shame, grief, doubt? The chances are it's the negative, and it's by design. And also, the more and more that you just live life on cruise control, or you're living life in the past with shit that you can't change, but you're carrying around all this guilt, it's time for you to truly heal. This message is not just to entertain you, it's to lead you on a path of truly healing yourself once and for all, becoming whole and complete, seeing yourself and falling in love with who you are. But the only way you can do that is to truly accept who you are right now. And that takes looking in the mirror. That takes disconnecting from all the distractions, all this free time that you are literally wasting by watching other people that aren't giving you anything in return other than what? A little tiny emotional kick here and there. And I'm speaking from first person. I used to be the biggest fanatic. Not only did I waste my time, I waste my money, and I ultimately used sports as a coping mechanism. But sports, just like so many other things in my life, was always a means to go get drunk, right? To overeat, to overindulge. It was like checking all the boxes of self-medicating, being distracted, and being avoidant on putting in the work that I needed to put in on my life. Are you doing the same thing? Hello, are you? It's time to start switching that up. If you feel that sense of emptiness, if you feel that sense of you're lost, there's no magic tricks. There's no quick fix to this. It truly does take you getting locked in and staying locked in, putting in the work. Now, with that being said, you are going to be able to really experience growth and healing and transformation if you stay the course. And the beautiful thing is, the way that I am helping many, many people to heal, it's not going to take you 13 years. For me, 13 years was wandering. It was trying every single thing with one goal in mind. I had one goal. Do you know what my goal was? My number one goal was to trust myself. Was to truly trust myself in any situation, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what the complexity, what's involved, to be able to trust myself to do a few things, not make the situation worse, and to understand my value, my contributions to that situation, good or bad, to own my shit and not make it worse by having a lack of emotional regulatory skills, to be able to regulate my emotions in a way that I can be angry, but I don't have to act like a fucking ass. I don't have to make things worse. And I used to do that. I was the freaking poster child for making situations worse. And that these weren't, in my mind, it was like fight or flight, like extreme. And yet some of this was just a breakdown in communication, needing to have some clarity, someone needing reassurance and feeling insecure in themselves. And yet I would still default back to my childhood programs of abandonment. Again, talking about being your true self, speaking your truth, not having to sacrifice yourself for someone else's joy, for someone else's happiness, so someone else will stay in love with you. If it takes you doing that, you're walking on eggshells, and guess what? Eventually, you're going to fall through. You will fall through and you will have that moment where you break. And when you do, you're going to find yourself alone. And when you find yourself alone, I want you to remember that this message, this community, and that I am here for you. You don't have to be alone. You have to do the work on your own, though. This has to come from within you. This has to be something that you are finally ready to turn your life around. Not just for a season, not just as a little trial period to just see. It's one thing, maybe you got to get a little courage just to see how this feels, but to truly go all in and never look back, other than to just review the things you need to be able to heal, to forgive, to release the pain from your past so that you can set yourself free. You can set those people free. And as you do, you can now look at your past painful situations without having an emotional attachment to it. You can understand. This is the center of the spiritual awakening, is when you can look back on your life because you've done all this work with healing and reprogramming and accepting and forgiving, that when you have that awareness and you now have worked through a specific process that I guide people through, you can look back on there and you actually are grateful. You're grateful for the worst things that you have been through, because you know that without them, you wouldn't have had the spiritual awakening. But so many of you are avoiding. You're avoiding your calling. You're avoiding doing the spiritual work. So you're staying distracted. You're using excuses to hold you back, to keep you held back, to keep you from living your best life, because you're stuck in victim mode. And the sad thing is, there's a lot of people that are hearing this message, you don't even understand why. You're so disassociated with yourself that you don't even understand why you're doing this, and you feel powerless to break free. If this message is resonating with you, your time is now. There's not an accident here. If you can hear this much of this message, please, please lean in, lock in, keep going. But if you need something even above and beyond, I've got plenty of resources for you. Check out the Results Kill Excuses 1% Better Everyday Journal. It will absolutely activate a whole new level of accountability for you by saying every single day, starting by reprogramming your negative beliefs, by starting with attitude of gratitude, thinking about the positive things in life. And then you're able to actually start tracking some of the good things you're doing in life. If you're so negatively aligned right now, you can start looking at the things that you're actually doing that you can be proud of and celebrate on a daily basis. And of course, you want to look at how can you continue to improve, and being open to saying there's ways that you can improve. And if you do just a little bit every day, guess what? After 91 days, you're going to be a whole new version of yourself. And on top of all that, if that wasn't even good enough, there is a 91-day program that has video coaching from me, guiding you through the process and understanding of how do you go through self-sabotage to self-mastery. And in there are some incredible lessons, tons of value, man, lessons of me teaching you about boundaries, having you identify your core values. There's so much packed into that. Please give yourself a chance to take a look at that. And if you want something even more than that, it's to reach out to me, greg@resultskillexcuses.com, to inquire about one-on-one coaching. If you're seeing this video, I no longer offer free. The free's gone. There was an opportunity, but with the growing number of people that I'm helping, I can no longer just say, hey, it's free. But with that, I have a package. Click on that link down below that'll give you your first coaching. It'll send you the workbook for the 5 courses in the app and this incredible, most powerful tool on earth, the Results Kill Excuses 4-color pen. You'll get that as a part of the package that I am offering for that first coaching call. It's an investment in you. It absolutely supports this channel, and I can tell you I am immensely grateful for that reciprocity, because this is truly investing in a way that you get something from it. Things that are going to truly make your life better, not just burn your time and rob you of your health and have you wondering, when are the stars going to align? The stars are aligned, the moon is aligned, everything is in perfect order. It takes you saying, my time is now. I'm done making the excuses, and I'm ready to start putting in the work, working on myself, investing on myself, trying completely new things, doing things totally different for the first time. And that starts with establishing a morning routine, positive affirmations, journaling, breath work, grounding, earthing. This stuff sounds so easy. It sounds easy. It's like, wait, that's too simple. How can that be the stuff that will help me? Try it. Try it for yourself. Before you just bash it, before you discard it, that inner critic, I know the inner critic's like, don't do it, because it wants you to keep feeding the negativity. This is how this works. That negativity inside of you cannot survive on its own. It needs you to continually reassure it and feed it. And it doesn't want to just give up. It doesn't want to just surrender. And that's why you've had such a hard time breaking through to the other side, to the polarity of a positive mindset, a growth mindset, being open and ready to truly reprogram yourself for abundance, for alignment, for the most incredible experiences of your life. Your time is now. If you're hearing this message and you made it this far, take some action. Quit sitting back and waiting. Take some doggone action. I'll see you on the next one. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.